Hey everybody, we're here with Liz Kranyak to find out why is the stone in my grandma's ring synthetic? Liz, so great to have you here.
Always great to be here. This is something that I run into all the time when we're playing with vintage jewelry. So anytime somebody brings in Great Aunt Gertrude's jewelry box, we always have a ring that has one really big stone, and it's very, very special. And it's usually 14 karat gold. It is real gold, but the stone is not what Aunt Gertrude thought it was. She'll tell you stories, sit you down, going, "This is a peridot. This is a sapphire, and it's going to be so much money when you grow up." And it's not her fault. It's really not her fault, because what happened back when she got this ring, very, very special ring, back in the late 50s to 60s and the 70s. Big stones were really, really much in style and very, very special, but they also had new technology. They had this really exciting lab-created stone that they would use in a lot of jewelry back then. So they would tell in the store, they wouldn't tell you this is grown in a lab by a scientist, not by nature in the earth. They wouldn't tell you that. We do that now. We've changed our practices now to make it very, very clear what you get and what you buy and what you pay for. Back then, they would say, "Oh, no, 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 this is a Chatham ruby," or "This is an Alaskan black diamond." It's not. It's hematite. It's no diamond at all. It's hematite. But these rings are really cool. So anyway, yes, it is gold, but it's a synthetic stone. I mean, we've seen, it was just a big trend. It was new technology used in a trend. We've seen this before. Everybody has seen something like that before. Do you remember back in 1998? We had really colorful jewelry back then. We had stuff made out of titanium. I might be aging myself a little bit here, but so that's because price of titanium came down. People were experimenting it back in the 80s, and so at the end of the 90s, we had colorful anodized titanium everywhere. We don't use it anymore. Nobody's going to want it. But 20, 30 years later, people are going to be saying, "No, no, no, this anodized metal was super special," and we have to say, "Well, no, it was just in style at the time." So
So, what's the difference in value between a synthetic stone and from the earth stone?
from the earth stone, it took millions and millions of years to make that stone most of the time. So that value is a lot higher than a synthetic stone. For example, what's the best example I can give you? 1 carat diamond, just run of the mill, out of the showcase, can run you $7,000 to $12,000. Whereas a lab created moissanite, moissanite is something that we use a lot to replace the bigger stones. Lab created moissanite, we're looking at 200 to 400. So there's a big difference between a lab created and a natural stone. Natural stones are still very special, and so they still are much more rare, and they're still very sought after. So we have a higher price for those.
So then the best idea, if you have antique jewelry from an estate or something like that in your family, the best idea is just to get an appraisal before you start getting excited about your soon to be made fortune.
Not even an appraisal, just bring everything. I always tell everyone to bring everything. You're not putting me out at all. It's the fun part of my day going through somebody's jewelry, even if it's costume. We'll tell you before we appraise it, yes, this is a natural stone, it's worth appraising. No, it's not. It's not natural, and it's worth this much. You really don't need to appraise this. But the best thing to do is don't assume foul play. Somebody didn't switch your stone. Somebody didn't do something, pull the wool over grandma's eyes. Nobody did that. It was just misinformation used back then that we don't use anymore. So now we disclose everything because it's so important to know where your money is going.
Great tips. Well, thanks very much for this, Liz. Super appreciate it. So, if I wanted to bring in my grandma's jewelry box, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So you can find us on Twitter at Premier Gems YYC. Uh, we're also on the Facebook page, Premier Gems. Feel free to email me, Liz at premiergems.ca, or look up on the website and give us a call and make an appointment to come in and see us here on 17th Avenue.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time, Liz. Appreciate it.
Always great to be here.